Ready? Omre Bami, Avrom v'Sora tumtumim hoyu. Sora and Avrom, they both were tumtum. Tumtum means their genitals were covered. Shenemar, where do we see that his genitals were covered? Not only Sora was she barren, but the genitals were covered. Shenemar, Habitu, it's supposed to be Yeshayahu, Habitu el tzur chotzavchem, should look to the rock that was carved out. Vel makeves bor nukartem. So also, it's the bor that was chiseled out. Uchsiv habitu el Avrom avichem vel Sora tucholelchem. And who are these two people that we're referring to? You should gaze upon Avrom, your father, and Sora, your mother, who brought you about. She was an islandless, meaning she never developed. What does that mean? She never developed the reproductive organs. Shenemar, the Sora akora ein lo volod. If she's akora, what does it say? Ein lo volod. A woman's barren, of course she has. Volod normally means she has no child. Right? So the word ein lo volod is totally superfluous. So what's the meaning ein lo volod? Fil beis vlad ein lo means she didn't have a uterus. She was without a uterus. You with me, Howard? I see you're a little, I don't know, you're out to lunch or something.
No, I'm not out to lunch. It says she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and there was a problem with Yitzchak looking like Abraham because she might have had relations when they went down to Egypt. So this whole
It already happened. The transformation took place already. There was a transformation. When she was with Avimelech, there was a transformation already.
From when to when? When did it happen?
This was initially, when Avram married her. Avram had Yishmael, no? Yishmael was 14 years older than Yitzchak. So that means it already happened. He was already healed from it.
Right, but they're saying that they both...
Initially, they both were. Initially.
Okay.
You know, it's like, how much is the square root of 600,980,000?
I hear it.
Why is it unsettling? Why is it unsettling?
Didn't we read that if you knew somebody initially was an island, you had a divorce, you had, I mean...
What is it? But a miracle happened here. The Torah speaks about the miracle, the transformation. Sorry, Menu.
I hear it, but we also just had the halacha that after 10 years you're supposed to...
So the Gemara discusses this here.
Right.
That's why he took Hagar.
Right, but he's married before he has...
But they were chutzlorets. You don't count the years of chutzlorets.
Okay.
That's the Gemara says this. Okay. Sora imenu ayin l'soy. So shenema avati Sora akor ein lo volod afil beis vlad ein lo. Omer Rav Yudah Breder Rav Shmuel bar Shilas mishmei Rav lo shor elo bedoros rishonim. Shoshanim rubos. We said earlier that you married 10 years, you're supposed to divorce your wife. But that was only the original years, meaning if you would live till 100, 200, so you have 10 years, because you have time. Aval bedoros achron, but the latter generations, sheshnei muotos. Wait. No, you could, one or the other. We're talking about if you don't take another wife. Shtei shonim umechzo keneg shloshi burim. You have 27 months, which is 3 pregnancies. So therefore, there's a 3 years, 3 children. If you could have had 3 children and she didn't give, meaning if you live till 200, 10 years, you have time that you could wait to have a child. But today, people live till 70 years. You can take off 10 years before you turn around. The woman can't have children any longer. So therefore, you give a woman 2.5 years. 2.5 years, she doesn't have a child. You divorce her. Rabba Omer Rav Nachman Sholoshem Keneg Shol Pekitos. No, it's not 27 months, but rather 3 years. As we find, and each one corresponds to a Pekido where God brought about a miracle. The Omer Ma Breder Rapuno Niftu So Rochel V'chana. Right? That it says on Rosh Hashanah, So Rochel and Chana, they were actually, Hashem remembered them, they were able to conceive. Each of them were barren. Omer Rabba Lestul Hani Klolik. He says, factually, we reject this. Even though he said 2.5 years, 3 years, it's 10 years. La Alocha, the way we rule, you marry to a woman for 10 years, she doesn't have a child, you divorce her. Mechti Mastisaman talking. Rebbe, who's the one who actually wrote the Mishnah? Rebbe Yudah Nossi. But by David Imit, Shoni, and in times of David Melech, so Rebbe was way after David. And Rebbe records in the Mishnah that if you're married to a woman for 10 years, you divorce her. So he already lived at a time where David writes in Tehillim, David says, what's the average lifespan? 70 years. And yet Rebbe still writes in the Mishnah, and Rebbe followed David HaMelech, that what, if you married 10 years, maybe she didn't merit to have a child from him. Maybe she didn't. You understand? We say that since she's not obligated to therefore you can't punish her. Can't punish her. She gets a ksuba, she goes out, you give it a ksuba. They told the Rabbi to marry a woman, you should have children. He said to, he wasn't married, he says, marry a woman and you'll have children. He says, if I would have married, I would have had a child from my first wife. No proof. He's just pushing him off. 1 second. Right, why should she take the ksuba? She shouldn't. He says, the reason, because he can't fault her for not having children. She's not obligated. Now, Rababo Barzavdi Yaakov Mipike de Rafuna. So before Rashi said Rafuna, when he would give a lecture, Norman's important, even though this is not your area, urology is not your area, that when he would give a lecture, it was very lengthy, and the Talmidim would not go out. So they'd have to urinate, and they'd have to restrain themselves. And as a result of that, they destroyed their reproductive system. They developed infections, and that infection, actually, they became sterile because of that. Here, Rababa Zavdi Yaakov Mipirkei de Rabhuna. Rav Gidel Yaakov Mipirkei de Rafuna. Look at all these Amoroim. Reb Chelba Yaakov Mipirkei de Rafuna. Rav Sheshis Yaakov Mipirkei de Rafuna. Rav Acha Bar Yaakov Achdei Suchinso. 1 second. Rashi says, meaning he had a blockage in the urinary tract. He had a blockage, like an infection in the urinary tract. Look what he did. Tal Yua Ba'arza, Dvei Rav. V'nof minei kuhutza yarko. They hung him on a cedar, on a tree by Bei Rav, and the pus came out of his penis like the leaf of a palm tree. Green pus shot out of his meaning, and because of that, he was able to maintain himself. But if the infection would have gone beyond that point, he also would have become sterile from this infection. When it says Tului Ba'arza, how does he explain that? Yeah, but what is he? They hung him on a tree.
Yeah.
Okay? The pressure forced it out. Omer Avacha Bar Yaakov, Shisin Sabi Avinu. You hear this? There were 60 sages. V'kulu Yaakov Yipiked Rafuna. 60 Amoroim became sterile as a result of Rafuna saying a lengthy shit. They didn't go out. Lebar me'ano, except for myself. The kaim ben nafshoy achoch mitchai be'ler. If you're wise, you're able to maintain life within yourself. Because he was wise. He realized he had the infection, and he resorted to this extreme type of thing. He had himself hung from a tree, and he was able to actually expel the pus. And he was able to recover. Girsha Muteris. It says, what happens if he divorces her? She's permitted to marry another man. A man's married 10 years to a woman. He divorced her. That means there's a problem. She marries somebody. She's permitted to marry someone else. Sheni in, Shlishi lo. So it seems from the Mishnah, she's permitted to marry one other man. But let's say after she marries two and the second husband, she doesn't have children, she can't marry a third. That's an inference. The first one, divorced her, she's married to another man. After two, so which means Rebbe holds that Chazok is after twice, not three. Shlishi lo, masisa money. Rebbe, so who do we attribute the Mishmah to? To Rebbe, the Tanya. Mola harishon umes. A woman circumcises her first child and the child dies. Hemophilia, right? Hemophilia. Sheni umes. She circumcises the second child, the child dies. Shlishi lo simo, div Rebbe. She has a third child, she's not permitted to circumcise her third child. Since two of their children died, there's a concern. She circumcised the third child. There's already a chazokah. She's already established a pattern. that since 2 children died, you're not permitted. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says no. Shlishi timo. Chazaka is 3. If 3 children die, then she's not permitted to Revi lo timo. So therefore, the Mishnah is going like who? That it says if she's divorced from the first, she can marry another. But it seems to be a third husband she cannot marry because she's already established as a sterile woman, as barren. He says, but we learn in the Brisa to the contrary. Meaning, who is the last Brisa that was learned? Toshma. Listen to this. There was a story. There were 4 sisters. The Tzipori. 4 sisters. Shemola Rishono Mes. One sister circumcised her child. The child died. Shniu Mes. The second sister married, circumcised her child. Also died. Shlishisu Mes. Third sister married, circumcised also. Revius Bolifnei B'Shim Gamliel. The 4th sister comes. She has a child. She comes before Rabbi Gamliel. Shim Gamliel. Amala al Timodi. He says, don't circumcise. So we see who is the opinion that it's 3. It's Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. It's not Rebbe, right? Because we had it was inverted. Rebbe said 3, and Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said 2. But since this incident is what is later, so we see the last position is Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is 3 and Rebbe is 2. V'dilmi yashi shlishis nami haba omar lo. He said, what's the proof? The third one never came to ask the Shiloh. She came to ask the Shiloh after the child died. Maybe she would have come after twice. Maybe he would have said, don't circumcise the third child. Not after 1. After 2. After 2. Omar lei. He says, Im kain masa dusid Reb Chia Barabo. So what is he coming to tell us? V'dilma kamashon da'achis machaskos. He said, that's what he's telling us. He's not coming to tell us the number. Factually, if after the second one, maybe we were told not to. What is he coming to say? That you say that sisters, a person has children, one after another die, that's establishing a chazok in a family. But just because the sisters, let's say you had people unrelated. One circumcises her child, the child dies, and another unrelated person, the third. They're not connected to one another. So maybe sisters also not connected, even though they're related, but it's not within, that's not considered within the same family. On that, he's quoting that they are considered like as if it's the children of the same family. Now that you tell me that being sisters, that's enough to establish a chazoko. Here, this is very important. Let's say you have, in a family, you have people who have epilepsy. Shouldn't marry that family. You say, well, what does that family have to do with something? No. That it's been established in the family they're epileptics, it's going to repeat itself. But it's a sister, it's an uncle, it's a cousin. That's called within the same family. You have to be concerned. Let's say a person had, there were 3 first cousins, each of them have epilepsy. So you want to marry another first cousin from another sibling. Shouldn't marry. Because you see in the family there's epilepsy. What's the aloha? How do we rule? Is it twice or is it 3 times? Right? Listen to the story. There was an incident that came before Rabbi Yochanan in the Beis HaKnesses in Ma'on. There was a location there. So, Yom Kippurim b'Shachalius b'Shabbos. You hear this? Yom Kippur fell out on Shabbos. Umola Rishon Umes. She circumcised. It was a woman who circumcised her first child and died. Shni Umes. Shlishis Bolafonov. And there was a Shabbos Yom Kippur, and the bris was supposed to be Shabbos Yom Kippur. And she asked Rabbi Yochanan, should she circumcise the child or not? Amalo Lechi Umoli. And Rabbi Yochanan said, you should circumcise him. Although it was Shabbos Yom Kippur. 1 second. Because what's the reason? Because if actually the child is going to die, it's Shabbos Yom Kippur, how do you circumcise the child? Evidently, you see, there's nothing to be concerned with. Rabbi Yochanan is ruling that you don't have to be concerned that 2 is not a chazaka. Because if the third's going to die, how are you permitted to Mechal Shabbos? You're killing the child. It's an act of murder. And it's Shabbos and Yom Kippur on top of it. So why did he say yes? The answer is because twice is not enough to establish a pattern. You have to have 3. Over here, he permitted Isser, violating Shabbos and Yom Kippur, and what's it, Sakona? So evidently held it wasn't the Sakona, right? It wasn't the Sakona. And therefore he says the third, Rabbi Yochanan ruled the third child should be circumcised. Somach alo Abaye. So Abaye relied on what? What he heard from Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef with this incident with Rabbi Yochanan and Yom Kippur with the Milah. So listen to the story. Vozel v'nosva l'choma bratet isi braid Rabbi Yitzchak braid Rabbi Yehuda. He went and married a woman. Her name was Choma. She was the daughter of Isi, the son of Rabbi Yitzchak braid Rabbi Yehuda. And she was married already to two husbands, and both husbands died. Okay? So because now he feels if chazaka, you need three. So although two of husbands dies, he's still safe. See, based on the ruling that he heard from Rabbi Yochanan, he married the Nosva Rochba of the Pumdisa V'Shochiv. She was married to Rochba from Pumdisa, and he died. Rav Yitzchak Brei, the Rabbi Rav Chana V'Shochiv, he also died. The Nosva Hus, Abai feels he could marry her. You know what happened? V'Shochiv, he died. Abai died, he was the third victim. This is what we call, in the halacha we rule this way. This is called the katlonis. She's a woman who causes her husbands to die. So we rule, we'll see, the Gemara says, for marriage, after twice, you don't marry, you're not permitted to marry that woman. Because if she buried two husbands, we're not speaking, she married a man who was 180 years old, and and he died at the age of 199. Not talking about that. He's a man who shouldn't have died, right? And all of a sudden, after getting married, he contracted some disease or whatever it is, he had a heart attack and died. That's what we're talking about over here. Omer Ravu Miika the Over Uvda Binavshe Gihai. I mean, does a person do such a thing? Vayu the Omer Ovin the Samcho Yitzchak Sumko Larba Samcho. He says, because they had said Ovin the Samcho Yitzchak Sumko Larba Samcho. Yeah? The question is, when you quote somebody, is it a reliable quote? Somebody says, he said. Maybe he misquoting, because very often Rabbi Yochanan could have ruled something, but maybe Rabbi Yochanan retracted. So, Ovin, who was always continuously Rabbi Yochanan, so if he ever retracted, Ovin would know he retracted. So therefore, but Yitzchak, Sumka, this Rabbi Yitzchak, he wasn't always there. So, of course, Rabbi Yochanan originally said it, but since, from when he originally heard it, Rabbi Yochanan may have retracted. So it may not be reliable, right? Because what was the story? Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef, okay? So Yitzchak Sumcha, he wasn't there, so he relied on somebody who wasn't really reliable. V'yod, Omer, Ve'omer, Emer, the pligi, linyan milo, b'nesuin. Stop. Maybe, where do we find the machlokes between Rebbe and Reb Shimon Gamliel? That's in regard to Milo. But maybe in regard to marriage, even Reb Shimon Gamliel agrees. She buried two husbands, you don't take a chance the third time. But Tanya, this is Levishin Mes. This is all chazokah. This is all chazokah. We're going to discuss this on the next page. We'll discuss this on the next page. We'll see. But Tanya, Tzumar says, "Mi pligi." She says, "Ein." Votanyas. We learned in the Brisa. This Levishin Mes, Lesheni Mes, Lesheni Rebbe. We see that we don't differentiate between Milo, as Rebbe holds. If two children die, you don't circumcise the third. Regarding marriage, same thing. A woman who buries two husbands, a third person is not permitted to marry her because she's going to bury him. And we rule Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer Lishlishi Tinose. She's permitted. She buried two husbands. She's permitted to marry a third husband. The Revi lo sinose. The fourth not. So we see the same argument. They're arguing by Milo. They're arguing in regard to marriage. Somewhere says Bishlam Gabi Mili Mishpochi, the Rafi Domi Mishpocha, the Kamadami. Nor says that makes sense. We can talk about Chazokah. You have certain people where the blood doesn't clot. Other families' blood does clot. So how do we establish the family that the blood doesn't clot? If three children die, that indicates. So that reveals a reality. Gabi Nesuin. My time up, what do you mean? She buries husbands. There has to be a reason why she buries them. Right? What's exactly causing their death? We're not talking about she's killing them. She's putting poison in their drinks. Mayim Gorim. You hear this? Hello. Mayim Gorim. Meaning the well, meaning the having the chemistry of the woman, having relations with her somehow, that actually takes his life, the mayon. Ravashi Omer mazel garm. No, she's bad luck. Mazel. It's a mazel. This woman is not good luck. Summers my be now. What's the halachic difference? He could be now the irsu mess. What else he just did? Ersin. He never had relations with her, and he died. If you say she's bad luck, even though he never had relations with her, she buried 2 husbands, you don't marry a 3rd time. But if, in fact, he had relations, then what? No, then you could marry. If you say it's a relation, then he could marry. Let's say he fell off a tree. Right, he didn't. So that's how he died. It wasn't because he had a relations, but he didn't have a heart attack. He fell off a tree. Maybe he had a heart attack on the tree. Fell off the tree. No, let's say she already buried a few brothers. She was married to one brother, she buried him. Another brother, she buried him. Now we're holding about a 3rd brother. Still no kids. So the way we rule Allah will give chalitza no yibum in that case. You can't take a chance. She's considered katlonis. She's a killer wife. After she buried 2 husbands, we rule halacha. The 3rd, we were machmir. It's a question of life and death. Same thing. After 2, we're machmir. Amalei Rav Yosef, Breda Rava, or the Rava boy named Rav Yosef. So Rav Yosef, the son of Rava, says to Rava, I want you to pose the question of Yosef. Halacha Rebbe? Do we rule like Rebbe? Meaning after twice, we're machmir. V'omar li ein halacha Reb Shimon Gamliel. He said to me, we don't rule like Reb Shimon. I asked him, is the halacha like Rebbe? He says, we don't rule like Reb Shimon Gamliel. V'omar li ein achuchi achach bi. It's like he's playing with me. Yeah. He says, I asked him, do we rule like Rebbe? He says, halacha. V'omali halacha. Pam acher shalti v'malach Rishim Gamliel. V'omali halacha. I mean, I asked him once, is the halacha Rebbe? He says, the halacha is like Rebbe. Next time I asked him, is the halacha Reb Shimon Gamliel? He says, the halacha is Reb Shimon Gamliel. It can't be like both. So he says, evidently he's playing with me. He's joking with me. See, he explains to him this. Ki amalei lo stomihi. When he says no, stomihi uposhit loch nesuin malkius karebi. One second. Stomihi uposhale lo sicha yeah. Bach stumo shel mishna hein. Yeshasasman Reb Shimon Gamliel Yeshasasman Karebi. They can milsam alzing lo betrays himni. He means there's certain things we follow Rebbe, and there's certain things we follow Reb Shimon Gamliel. What does that mean? Okay? Poshet loch. Nesuin malkios karebi. You this? Regarding marriage and malkos, we rule like Rebbe. Marriage, a woman buries 2 husbands, a 3rd husband should not marry her. What's malkios? Let's say a man goes and he deserves malchus twice. And then afterwards, the 3rd time, he defies the court again. They don't give malchus the 3rd time. You know what they do with him? No, they don't kill him. They put him in a closed room. They feed him a certain diet of food, and then after he dies. Because he's already murzuk, that he's a repeated offender. So that's regarding the suing after twice. A woman buries 2 husbands, we don't let her marry a 3rd husband. A man violated a negative command, forewarned twice. We say he's prone to do it a 3rd time. We don't even bother with him. We put him already in a room, feed him a diet of barley. He bloats until he dies. Karebi. That's the sharamut. But what about regarding establishing the calendar, the data calendar regarding the menstrual cycle? Sharamut, Kurushim Galil. An ox has to gore 3 times to become a goring ox. Lakipo, Rega, Kurushim Galil. Nesuin, Hoadamoran. Nesuin, we already said Malchus. What's the case of Malchus? Ditnan. Misha Loka Vishona. A person received Malchus and he repeated, and they gave him again. Bezna Kosanos Lakipo. They put him into a room. Machilo Saorim. They feed him barley. Achete Kresnivkas. Until his stomach bloats to the point where he bursts. He dies. Vestus nanin isha kovas lo vest achetikvana shalish pamim. Yeah, this a woman doesn't establish the menstrual cycle on that same day unless she repeats on the same day 3 times. They metaheris min avest, and when do you uproot that particular day on the calendar? She has to pass that day on the calendar 3 times when she doesn't menstruate. She has to menstruate on the same day, 3 consecutive months, and then she's established that's her day of her cycle. What happens? 3 months pass, and every month consecutively she missed that day. So you see that her menstrual cycle has changed. So you need, as 3 established, as 3 you need to uproot it. Shor amud, what shor amud? Ditnan. And asher nasim mur ashiidu bo shlosha pomim. Witnesses that forewarn the owner of the ox, you got to watch your ox. If they forewarn him 3 times and it gores the 3rd time, then he has full liability for the damage. No, they would say we're machmir. Regarding monetary, we're mako, we're more lenient. When it comes to serious stuff like death, then we're machmir. No, there's an argument with Shimon Gamliel and the Chachamim. Right? Rebbe says twice is a chazaka. Shimon Gamliel says no, 3 is a chazaka for everything. I mean, we don't differentiate, but we say when we come to rule, we rule like Rebbe when we're dealing with the death, with dying. A woman buries 2 husbands, we don't take a chance the 3rd time. Shimon Gamliel says you take a chance the 3rd time. We don't rule like Shimon Gamliel. A person was a repeated offender, got malchus twice already, we're very strict. After twice already, we're machmir. But regarding monetary, when does it become a gora? We say it's 3, like Shimon Gamliel. We're being more lenient. We're more lenient regarding a monetary issue. If it's burying a person after 2, we're machmir. Right? We're machmir after 2. A woman buried 2 husbands. We're not going to take a chance marrying a 3rd. That's why we're machmir. Rosh Gamliel says, no, she can marry a 3rd husband. We don't rule like Rosh Gamliel in regard to marriage. Because it's a question of life and death. No, she's not. The ox didn't kill you. I mean, it gored another ox. It's purely monetary. It's not where it kills. Even the first time you put it to death, you kill it.
And money is 3, and life is 2.
And also, neither is 3. To establish the date on the calendar. Okay, Tanu Rabbanan. We learned in the Brisa. Nisis leRishon for the Hoya Labonim. She married a man. She didn't have children. L'sheni v'lohoy l'bonim. She married a 2nd man. She didn't have children. L'shlish l'otinosek. Yet a 3rd husband she's not permitted to marry. We learned as a brisa. Why? Elami she'esh l'bonim. So therefore, since the husband already fulfilled his obligation of pir v'ribio, right, of procreation, so therefore she's permitted to, because she's after twice she's already established herself. She can't have children. Nesas l'mishein l'bonim. What happens if she marries the 3rd time a man who doesn't have children? Teitzib lochsuba. You this? What do? He has to divorce her. We don't allow the 3rd man to keep her unless he marries another wife. But if that's his only wife, he divorced because she wasn't permitted to marry the 3rd man. Iboilu. Listen to this story. She marries a 3rd man. She had no right, and they didn't have children. So we said before she's divorced, and she's divorced with what? Without a ksuba. Mao litvu hanach kamoy. So let's the 1st and 2nd husband say, no, we want the ksuba back. The 1st and 2nd husband paid out a ksuba. Correct? Now that it's been established that she doesn't have children from the 3rd one, since she established herself as a woman who cannot have children. If that's the case, retroactively, she had no right to take the ksuba. They married a woman that was barren. That's the Shaila. Seemingly, Chazak always reveals something. So that should reveal to us that what? She's a woman who could have never had children. So if that's the case, does the 1st and 2nd husband have a right to reclaim the ksuba from her? To be reimbursed with the money they paid out? The garment. You're the cause why we didn't have any children. Like you didn't have children from the 3rd one. You didn't have children from us. Therefore, we want the money back. No. Now I've become weakened, and now the problem came now. I mean, that I didn't have the first 2 times, that was your problem. You're obligated pir v'ribio. It's your mazel. This has nothing to do with me. The 3rd time, now I've become not able to have children. So Mar says, Mistabra motzes amar lahu, hashnu dekachshi. So the Mar says, it's logical she could say, I've become weakened now, and therefore, you want your money back? Bring me a proof that it was from day 1. And if you can't bring proof that it was day one, that it was my fault, I retain the money. Listen, a new Shaila. Even though she's 25 years old. No, she's 25 years old. She's not able to conceive. She says, I have some kind of deficiency. The deficiency happened now. Iboilu. Nisas Lerevi. Listen to the story. She went married. The third one didn't give her a ksuba, right? Because she established herself as a woman not bearing children, correct? What happened? She married a fourth husband. Let's see who had children. So she was, and then she had children. So what does that reveal? She has children. So retroactively, let her claim the ksuba. Does she have a right to claim ksuba from the third one? The first two paid it out. The third one didn't pay it out. Now she has children from the fourth one. No, what could you say? No. No. What you mean? The Gemara understands because she was weakened, and that what? And did she regain her strength, her ability? Okay, we'll see. Do we say iboilu nisasar v'havalo b'mal ditboil shlishi? I'm reading. So we say to her, shtikusech yov midiburech. He says, you know something? You want to be smart, keep quiet. Because if you say that you want the ksuba, that means then you could have had children. So the man's going to say, if I would have known that, I would have never divorced you. So if that's the case, children can be mamzerim. Yeah, you say to her, your silence is better than your speech. Okay? Because if she comes with that claim, he says, you know something? If I knew you could have children, I would have never divorced you. So now the get comes in question. So if you're going to demand the ksuba, that what? Then I would have never divorced you if I would have known. So if that's the case, what are the children? Mamzerim. Omar lo. Ano. No, but we could say an anatsari. Every person, if he would know that he's able to, if he has to pay out, he would say, if I would have known, I wouldn't have. So we say you don't pay it out because you treat her as she couldn't have, and therefore it's a get which is unconditional. There's no. We say to man, you divorce her now, it's gone forever. Maskara popi shosko adam shaskino. So yes, question doesn't make sense. But factually, if that is the mindset of the husband, that if I would have known, but how do we were saying so? You say you want to be smart, keep quiet. So even though she's quiet, but the Bezdin Chazal shouldn't be quiet. The Bezdin should say, but factually, if there's an Anand Sadi, we could say with definiteness. If he would have known she could conceive, he wouldn't have divorced her. So the children should be mamzerim. Nibza get botil ubane mamzer elo amina hashtu the brisa. You know what the answer is? The third time she may have been weakened. Therefore, she didn't have a right to collect the get, the ksuba. She regained her health, and because she regained her health, that's the reason why she was able to conceive. So therefore, the first two can't claim the ksuba back. She could say I was weakened. Now that I'm able to have a child from the fourth is because I regained my strength. The third not, because that would it's clear.
Why is it sounds like we should do it. If I would have known,
Not a shvuah. It's like a condition. It's not a shvuah. It's a condition.
If I would have known, you could release him from that condition, right? If I would have known, I would not.
I don't say he divorced her only on one condition. I divorced because I thought you couldn't have children.
But I thought you can't do it tonight with a get. A get has to be a severance, right? If I would have known.
It is a severance. A man could give a get on it tonight. You give me money by a certain date, the get's a get. If not, the get's not a get. She doesn't give the money, the get's bottled. No, it is. If, in fact, the conditions met, it's severance. If not, it's not severed. No, today they don't. Who omamino v'yomar. He claims it's her problem. She claims it's his problem. What's it? Omre bami dvorim shebein lebeino nemenes. Yeah. 1 second. So he's claiming I don't want to ksuva because she's not able to have children. She claims he's the problem. What's he the problem? V'taimamai hokaimelo b'yorek kechetz who lo kimlei. Taimamai he kaimo lo b'yorek kechetz. She's believed anything has to do with intimacy. She's believed. Why? Taimamai he kaimo lo b'yorek chetz. Who lo kaimo lo b'yorek chetz? a man to be able to, a woman to conceive from a man, he has to ejaculate in a way where the sperm comes out directly into her. That's something she senses. He doesn't sense that. So that's the reason why she's believed and he's not believed. He says, you know something, let me go marry another woman and we'll see. If what? If when I have relations, it happens the way it should. We don't say you marry, you divorce your wife because of that. You're not permitted to take her back. Finished. Because otherwise we would have problems. A man can take as many wives as he wants. As long as a person can support his wives, we allow a man to marry as many wives as he wants. Wow. No, it's a king. A king has a maximum. An ordinary person has as many wives as he wants, as long as he can support them. Hu Amar Aflis. Hu Amar Aflis begav Eser. The Amar lo Aflis. Hear this? She says she wants out. He says you had a miscarriage during the 10-year period. Yeah? When do you count the 10 years? We said, a man's married to a woman 10 years, he has to divorce her. So she says she hasn't had a miscarriage, anything, for 10 years. She wants out. He says she miscarried, let's say 3 years into the marriage. Therefore, she has another 3 years. So who do you believe? Do you believe her or do you believe him? You have the Shaila. Ignoring. Because you count the time, the clock starts ticking from so if she miscarried, I mean, she could have a child. She could conceive. We believe her. Why? Because a woman, if she has a question of being seen as a woman who miscarried or being a barren woman, what would a woman prefer to be seen as? A woman who could conceive? What she's saying is, for 10 years we're married, I never had a miscarriage. We could say with certainty a woman would never put herself in that light. So why is she saying it? Evidently it's true. Right? It doesn't make a difference. The basis, we'll see. 1 second. Wait one second. He pilo v'chozri, pilo v'chozri, pilo. No, we'll say, what about she miscarried 3 times? That's what we're talking about. So that means this woman cannot carry a child. Yeah, he miscarried 3 times. He pilo, she miscarried. V'chozri pilo, miscarried again. V'chozri pilo, who's going to follow him? She's already established herself as a woman who miscarries. So therefore, what's the halacha? He divorces her. There's no question. Hu ama apilo trei. He says she only miscarried twice. Therefore, I have a right to retain her. V'amro tlas. She says I miscarried 3 times. Therefore, I want out. Rav Yitzchak ben Elazar uvda hava be medrasha. Rav Yitzchak ben Elazar, there was such an incident happened. V'amro he mehem. It says she's believed. Why? For the same reason. The misad lo aflo. Because in fact she did not miscarry the 3rd time. Nashim nifla machazka is a woman going to want to be known as a woman who can't retain a child. It's something which is so negative. So why is she saying 3 times? If it's 2, she'd prefer to say 2. So if she's saying 3 times, the classifying as a woman who can't carry a child, it's like saying she's a woman who's barren. And no woman would want to say that. Therefore, we say with certainty she's believed. A man is obligated to procreation, avalo isha. And that's what we rule. A woman is not obligated. If a woman chooses not to marry, she's not doing anything wrong. A woman has no obligation to get married. Howard. Rabbi Yochanan broke Omer al shneim hu. Omer ve'yivorech osem elokim ve'omelhem elokim pru revu. He said to Odom chav pru revu in the plural. So Rabbi Yochanan Broka says he see clearly, just as he has to procreate, she has to procreate. Tanakama says no. The mitzvah of procreation is only on the man, not the woman. So we have a problem. Where do we know it's only on the man, not on the woman? Omer Rabbeloah bishum Rabbeloah zeb Shimon. Rabbeloah says name Omer kro umilu es oretz v'chivshuha. You should fill the land and you should conquer it. Ish darko lichbosh, vein isha darko lichbosh. It's the man's way to conquer. A woman's not a conqueror. A man's the conqueror. Somewhere, yes. Adraba, v'chivshua. It says in the plural, v'chivshu. Tarti mashma, both of them. Right? It says chivshuha. Omer of Nachbar Yitzhak v'chivshu ksiv. But it's written in the singular. The ksiv is chivshu. So the chivshu is coming to indicate that it's based on who's the conqueror. Who has the persona of a conqueror? Man. Rav Yosef Mehocha, Ani Kel Shakai Prei Urevei. Right? Hashem comes to Yaakov who says Prei Urevei. V'lo kama pru urevu. He doesn't say in the plural. V'omer Rebbelah Bishum Rebbelah Reb Shimon Geshem Shemitza Alo Odom Loma Adova Hanishma. Very, very important. Just as it's a mitzvah to give tochacha, to say something which will be heard. Kach mitzvah Alo Odom Shlo Lom Dav Shein Nishma. So if a person is not in the position to give musar, there's a mitzvah to keep quiet. Just as a mitzvah to say when you will be heard, there's a mitzvah to keep quiet when you won't be heard. Rababa Amachova, just the opposite. There's a chiyuv to remain silent. It's not its good advice. You're forbidden to open your mouth. Shenemar al tochech letz pen yusnek. Shlomo says in Mishlei, do not rebuke a deprecator because he will hate you. Tochea chochem v'yaveko. You should rebuke a wise man and he will love you for the rebuke. So what does it say? You should not. Omer Rebbelah b'shum Rebbelah z'rib shimi mutal olo odom lishnos lishanos bedover hashalom. A person is permitted to alter his speech, the truth, for the sake of peace. Where do you find it? Shenema avichot tziva. After Yaakov passed away, so the brothers came to Yosef and they said something which wasn't true. They said, our father said that you should take care of us. You should carry the sin of your brothers and let them dig. Rab Nosnom mitzvah. There's a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to change, to alter the truth for the sake of peace. There's a mitzvah. Shmuel anointed David. Hashem says to Shmuel, go to Shaul. He said, but if I go to Shaul, he's going to kill me. So Hashem says, well, take an animal. Say you're going to, if he catches you, say you're going to bring a korban. Hear this? We find Shalom so important, even Hashem altered the truth. The Mikora when she heard that she was going to have a child, what did she say, Sarah? He's an old man. When she shared it with, when HaKadosh Baruch shared it with Avram Avinu, what did he say to Avram? What did she say? I became old. Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Shuvan Levi Charom Halocha Rabbi Yom Broka. One says we rule like Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. Charom ain't Halocha Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. The question is, do we rule that a woman's obligated to peer review or not? So versus this time, Rabbi Yochanan Dom ain't Halocha. I'll bring a proof that Rabbi Yochanan holds we rule like the Tanakama, that only the man has the obligation of procreation, not the woman. Yeah? The Yosef Rabbi Avo Komish made Rabbi Yochanan Halocha. Rabbi Avo was sitting and he said, we rule like Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka, Adrinu Rabami Vravasi Lapayu. And when he said that, when Rabbi Avo said it, they turned around and they gave him a look. How could you say that? So therefore, then Rashi says, Rabbi Avo was Chassan the Bein Nasiya. He was the son-in-law of the Nasi. So therefore, they didn't want to say anything that you're wrong because they didn't want to embarrass him. Okay? Because he's a person of status. Ikdi Ama Rebchi Bar Abba Oma. It wasn't Rebbe Avo that said it was Rebchi Bar Abba that said it. And they turned around to him. If you say, according to the version Rebbe Avo said it, right? Mishum Kovet Be Kesar Lo Amro Lay. He was Karvel Malchus, not he wasn't the son-in-law. He was close to the Roman emperor, to the Caesar. So therefore, they didn't want to embarrass him. They should have said clear out. Rabbi Yochanan didn't say. What you're saying is incorrect. Why did he just turn around? What's the halacha? Toshma. The Omer Reb Chacho Bar Chanino. Omer Reb Avo. Omer Reb Asi. Uvda haba kamid Reb Yochanan b'chnishnu de Kesrig. There was this incident with Reb Yochanan in the shul in Caesarea. V'oma yotzi ting suba. And he said, give her a ksuba. V'yisol de lo mifkedo ksubay vidito. Right? If you say she's not obligated peer review, what's this? She's coming to say he didn't give me children. Right? Iso the Lamifkada, if you say she's not commanded ksuba ma'ivit, why does she deserve a ksuba? If you say she's commanded Pirivibio, she's sinning. She says he's not giving me children. I have an obligation to have children. Dilma bebo machmas tainu. Maybe it's something else. Ki ahida so come rabami ormalei havli ksuba. Ormalei zil lomifkadis. A woman comes and claims a ksuba. He says, you're not obligated in Pirivibio. It's not a reason to get the ksuba. Ormalei mesivu delay. Mai tabi aloch da yitzo. But it's his fault. The reason why I'm not having children because of him. Why? Ki havadi kafinan. We definitely. A woman doesn't have to be obligated in Pirivibio to get a ksuba. It's if he's the cause of not being able to have a child, a woman has a right to say, I want to have a child, even if she's not obligated in Pirivibio. And she's saying, he has to give me a ksuba because he can't have children. We said earlier, he doesn't ejaculate, so therefore I can't conceive from him. So that
Does a woman initiate a get at this point? Is that what you're saying?
she couldn't initiate a get, but it's up to the bezdin. The bezdin, if the bezdin warrants, feels.
She's making a claim and they have to back it up.
You see this? This woman comes for Rav Nachman, and he says that you don't. Why? You're not obligated. He says, but doesn't a woman need a staff to walk upon, and what? And a spade for the burial? Meaning, a person has a child. This child's going to take care of in old age, right? But if I die childless, who's going to take care of me? Therefore, it's a valid point, even though she's not obligated in procreation. A woman has a right to say, I want to have an heir. I want to have a descendant. In that case, she definitely has a right to demand the yeah, this Yehuda and Chizkiah, they were twins, and Echad got Nigmur to Russell of Tisha. Yeah, they were two fetuses. They were twins, but they weren't identical. So one of them only finished developing after 9 months. And one of them after 7 months. Okay? So one was born after 7 months, and the other one was born 2 months later. You hear this? I don't know, in medical history, if it's such a thing. What? Good. It happened. Yehudis the Vista of Reb Chia. Yehudis, who was the wife of Reb Chia, Habalot Tsar Leido. I know what's the next word? She had tremendous pain.
Labor pain.
What's the next word? What does that mean?
So she changed her clothes in order to disguise herself.
Why? Yeah. Shanai Mana, she changed her clothes. She said to her husband that he shouldn't recognize it's his wife.
Right.
Is a woman obligated for Amra Lei Lo Osla Yishud Samidak Rosso? So she drank a type of potion that causes that sterile cause Sophie Loy Milso. After it was revealed, the reason why she had the pain wasn't because that what happened. She didn't want pregnant again. Was because she still has a child within her. He says, how's it possible? The same womb gave birth again within 2 months. She gave birth after 7 months, and now 2 months. Domamar Yehuda v'Chizkiah Achi. They were brothers. Pazi v'Tavi Achvosa. Same thing happened with 2 daughters. They were twins. Lo mifkedi. Somebody says, Lo mifkedi. You mean a woman is not obligated to procreation? V'omer Avacha bar Ketina. Omer Aviyot Ma'is b'Shacha shechetzi shiv chatzi b'aschorin v'kofu es rabo. Also, a woman was half slave, half maid servant, half free woman, half maid servant, and Rabbah forced the master to free her. So you'd say because she can't perform procreation. So you see from here, Mar says no. Because she couldn't get married, so she behaved like a prostitute. She had relations with all kinds of men. So therefore, Rabbah, because she couldn't get married. So Rabbah had the other master release her, and now she can get married, because now she's a kosher Jew. Even though she's not obligated, but how she's supposed to maintain herself. A man, we do force the master, because that's the Mishnah in Chagiga. Lisa Shivchen Yochel, Lisa Baschern Yochel, and he has an obligation to procreate. So we force the master to free him, so he's a free man. But a woman's not. Yeah, but what happens? There's a problem. She becomes licentious, and she has relations with everybody. So therefore, Rabbah didn't want it, therefore he forced the master to free her. Hadron loch aboy vinter hadron lon hadron loch aboy hadron lon hadron loch aboy hadron lon mono koin godel grusha chalutz koin hedged to be continued.